Hello and welcome to the second of two sessions looking at online portal training for the Shopper Intelligence portal. My name is Colin Holmes. I'm the CSS Director at Shopper Intelligence based in Sydney, Australia. We're going to take you through a couple of things today. The first session, which is also available, concentrated on logging in, what's on the home screen, and the dashboard, which is one of the main areas on this home screen. The second session will focus on the slice and dice and store impact, but we're also going to show you how to log in and about the home screen too. Okay, so if I just go to the login screen here, you can see my username and password are already here. If you know yours, you can put yours in and then click login. If you've forgotten your password for some reason, then you've got this little forgot password link at the bottom. If you click that, then it will trigger an email to your email with a link to reset your password. Now, once we log in, we are on the home screen. All these boxes in blue are available to you as clients. The ones in grey are either in development or are not available to you under your subscription. We also have a quick bar down the left-hand side here which will help transfer you between different parts on the home screen without having to come back to the home screen. So the first online training session concentrated on my dashboard. This one is going to concentrate on slice and dice and on store impact. So I'm going to click on slice and dice now, which will take me through to the slice and dice. The way to think about the slice and dice is a bit like an Excel pivot table. It's a different way of cutting and slicing and dicing the data, and it gives us much more depth of analysis than the dashboard does. The first things to select up at the top here are your channel and your year. Now, depending on your subscriptions, you'll either have a number of channels or a number of years. Then the way this works is that the row questions are all the questions that we ask in our survey, split into different sections: satisfaction, performance, importance, things like that. Whatever we choose there will appear down the left-hand side. All the response options within that question will appear down the left-hand side here. Then the column can be anything we like, and the way we select the column, I'll just choose a different question here. Let's choose importance. It then puts all the response options for importance down here. Now, I want to compare the importance measures by a number of different things. I can compare by categories, by retailers, brands within a category, segments within a category, shoppers, and years. So I'll take you through those one by one, starting off with categories. The rest of the menu up here, we select the benchmark. As explained in the first session, the benchmark allows us to color code all the different measures back to a benchmark of our choosing. So this one I will change this to be, for example, packaged bread. It will be color coding packaged bread scores against all categories in Coles and Woolworths, and it shows us in dark green, light green, orange, and red how significantly different they are to the benchmark. You can see here quality is more important to packaged bread than the benchmark. It immediately jumps out. If I was to change the benchmark to bakery, we can then start to compare how different packaged bread is to bakery. The scores remain the same, but the color coding benchmark changes. So you can see that quality is not that much different to packaged bread than it is to bakery in Coles and Woolworths. There are a few areas where it's underimportant. Now, we can also change the benchmark to be Coles all Woolworths as well. We can also change the retailer we're looking at. So this is packaged bread within Coles and Woolworths. We can just look at packaged bread within Coles if we like, or within Woolworths. And then we can change the categories we're looking at. And because this is compare categories, we can choose multiple categories here. So I'm going to choose all the different categories within a bakery. We can reduce these if it's too wide, if there's too many, to help us view a bit better, but mostly they'll be expanded like that. So that's compare categories. We can then compare retailers. This works in a very similar way. We can choose our category retailer benchmark. This will change the second column here. So whatever I choose from these two benchmark selections here changes this column here. This column will always remain as all categories, main retailers, and this will change the benchmark, and that second column is whatever we choose here under the compare section will be benchmarked against. So here we're comparing, I'll change this to packaged bread, we're comparing looking at that within Coles, Woolworths and Woolworths. And it just allows us to compare what's important, or the performance, or whichever measure we collect, by retailer. Again, all benchmarked back to what we choose here. Similarly with brands and segments, you would choose your benchmarks, you would choose your category, and then you are allowed to select whichever brands or segments are applicable to that category. Within Compare Shopper, it's slightly different. By shopper, we mean groups of shoppers and their behaviors, so you can think of that as questions as well. So again, we can choose our benchmarks, we can choose our category, we can choose our retailer, and here we choose Compare Shoppers. This allows us to slice and cut the data set by different types. So the obvious one being demographics. Let's compare gender. So what this does is put all our female and our male shoppers next to each other, and we can see how they differ in terms of shopping behaviors, in terms of what's important to them. Equally, we can look at, for example, grab and go and browse. So we can see how shoppers of packaged bread who plan to grab and go differ to those who browse. How about planned and unplanned? Let's see how what's important to shoppers of packaged bread differs between those who planned before they went into store and didn't plan, or unplanned when they went into store. So things like that. You can really get under the skin of the category. The final one is Compare Years, which, depending on your subscription, will allow you to put different years and almost trend different measures next to each other. So here I can measure 2019 and 2020 and have them next to each other, and I can compare what's different year on year. Now, I can just change a question up here to be planned and unplanned, and it will change the response options here. So you can build your own retrievals and start to get under the skin of what's driving this category. Look at retailers as well that way. So really, you can play around to your heart's content. You can choose any selection down here, any selection here, and it will allow you to get much more insight from the category. If you're ever wondering what the color coding means, there's a little color palette up here to highlight that. There's also an Excel download, which downloads all this, including color codings, into Excel. The PowerPoint button is something which is in development for a lot of questions, so that should be coming along soon, hopefully. We also have another further filter to run. So if I want to filter this whole table, for example, if I'm comparing retailers here for a particular question, and I just want to look at all of that just for male shoppers, I can add a further question on here. By clicking on this Add Filters column, then I can do up to 4 questions, or 2 questions, 1 brand, 1 segment, so I can start to filter just on male shoppers. Beware though that the more filters you apply, obviously the smaller the sample becomes. You see here this is n equals 119. The smaller the sample becomes, once it drops below our threshold of 50 for categories and retailers, then it ceases to become robust, and we recommend not using it. So as long as you're only using 1 or maybe 2 filters, it should be fine. So this is how male shoppers are planning to shop packaged bread in Coles and Woolworths. It's broadly the same. To get rid of the filters, you can just click Reset Filters here, and it will go back. Okay, so that is a quick run through Slice and Dice. You can play around with it as much as you like. You won't break anything, you won't change any data, so please have a play and reach out to your client service contact if you have any questions. The second part I wanted to touch on now is the Store Impact module, which if I click on this quick button here will take me to this. Now this, again, we have access to the categories here. We have an introductory page here which will tell us some key stats about our store impact. 32% of shoppers see the category, and 50% of those who see the category actually go on to buy it. We know that's very high because it's color coded as green. And again, our color coding confidence levels are here. If we then go to drill down, we can start to see our funnel. I won't go into the details of what the funnel is, but this is our conversion funnel. These are the rankings for each level of the conversion. And they are color coded to whether they're significantly different from the benchmark we are allowed to select up here. Again, we can change that by Coles and Retailer 1 and Retailer 2. Because of confidentiality reasons, we are not allowed to share what retailer 1 and retailer 2 is, and equally you're not allowed to take retailer 1 and retailer 2 to the retailers themselves. We have the funnel here. We can equally go to conversion rates to see how the conversion levels are. So 45% of 100 is 45, 32% of 52 is 71%, and again you can see whether those are significantly higher or lower than other categories, in this case in the bakery department. And then we can mix them both together here to get all the information we need. So this is a quick introduction on how to access the store impact data for your categories. Again, you can download that into Excel, into PNG and PPT. The PPT copies it as a picture into your PowerPoint. Okay, so that's a quick view through store impact and also slice and dice. We do have another session which takes you through the dashboard. If you have any questions at all, reach out to your client service contact. Thank you. Bye-bye.